he's just so like he's colorful.
Yeah, well, I'm colorful too. And welcome to Inspire Synergy. I'm your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. I'd like to thank our sponsors at Procyon Partners, one of the top 50 fastest growing companies in the nation. They specialize in employee benefits, wealth management, and retirement planning. President Sean Rabinowitz is a proud supporter of our podcast network, and we thank him greatly. Green Street Trust International finally got a new client with Razul Wallace and his group. Renell, you're welcome. They specialize in putting together tax plans for businesses, large or small. They will save you money or get you a big fat return. To schedule your free strategic tax planning session, either just thank me, call me, or you can go to www.greenstreettrust.com. Pete Finch and the Finch Law Firm. I got to see Pete a couple of weeks ago. It was awesome to see him and his children. Love Pete. He's an attorney out of Bridgeport. If you've had any type of personal injury, a slip and fall, a construction beam fell on you at a site, your mother-in-law tried to run you over with her car, the Finch firm is for you. Pete has won legal battles all across the state of Connecticut, and he will go to war with insurance companies for you to make sure you get every dollar deserved in compensation. All you have to do, you go to the website, thefinchfirm.com, and even easier than that, just remember, when you're in a pinch, call Finch. Dynamic Human Performance, owned and operated by UConn legendary running back Andre Dixon. He trains boys and girls of all ages, of all sports. He just announced a new boot camp program, 7 days a week, 6 a.m. If you want to get in shape, you go to Andre. He has an athletic development program, boys and girls, no matter the sport. He will take you from the ground up, train you, help you reach your potential, be the best that you can possibly be, and hopefully have an opportunity to play college sports. Andre has sent boys and girls to play Division I college sports, no matter the sport, on scholarship all over the place. He is the best of the best. He has a 5,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility in Hartford. To work with Andre, sign up, go with him. It's www.dynamichumanperformance.com. And down south, we have the man himself, Julius Williams. Julius Williams runs the Trench Mob. They train offensive and defensive linemen in Decatur, Georgia, basically Atlanta and all around Gwinnett County. He has the, can you stop fucking moving? What do you keep moving? I can't do my live reads. I got you moving. Yeah, now mute yourself. Julius trains the best of the best offensive and defensive linemen. They compete in tournaments, 5v5, basically offensive versus defensive linemen, and you get points scored. They are ranked second in the nation, although Julius disputes this and believes they should be ranked first. They are now going to college camps, and they will take you on college tours, and you will compete and be evaluated by college coaches, which is most important. If you are not a member of the Trench Mob, we have the Trench Mob show Friday nights at 7:30. You can send in your film, be evaluated. We showcase, we feature you. We tell you what we think you can do to improve, and we also help with the recruiting process. You will also have an opportunity to join the Trench Mob at any camp they are attending, and just wearing the Trench Mob gear gets you noticed, gets you attention, and will help you with recruiting. Julius has sent kids to Florida, Florida State, Miami, Clemson, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, the best of the best. That's what they produce. And if you watch the talent they work with on film, you will understand why. To be part of the Trench Mob, they work year round and they work hard. Go to www.battleofthetrenches.com. And now for the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour. He's got all the power. He is Razul Wallace of the House of Changes and also of the Husky Investment Group, and recently started a new commercial real estate company, I believe, in April. He is doing so much, and he also has 45 kids that can keep up with him and help in any way possible. It's amazing. Razul, how's life?
Life is good. It's a beautiful day today.
Yeah.
You got to meet. I think you got to meet all the kids. I am. I came out on the porch to take it. Yeah. You got to meet the kids at the fundraiser, right?
I did. It seemed like every 10 minutes I met someone new. So it was funny. Like I was thinking like Muslims will go into cities and procreate to try to like take over cities with this like 25-year plan, and it's like coming to fruition in some places. Word. I think that's what we should send you in to do. We should send you over to Europe. We'll send you to Paris, and you can procreate throughout the city, and then they can, 25 years later, they'll have the votes and the power. They can try to take their city back.
I actually got snipped. I can't have any more.
You went through with it?
Yeah, I did.
Wow. Yeah. Razul, you know that's unnatural. I was afraid to do that to my dog.
Yeah. Well,
was it a mandate? Was it like mandatory or was it?
I love my kids. I just don't have any more energy to give.
You do have energy to give. You never slow down. So this was. I strongly believe you're lying. There's no way that you willingly went in and thought to myself, "Wow, I have a lot of kids. I think it's time. A vasectomy is the answer."
Yeah.
There's birth control. It's improving every year, every day. There's condoms. Condoms really don't work, but I mean, come on. Yeah, condoms are terrible. I hate condoms.
I feel like at our age group,
nobody wears condoms anymore.
Nobody.
I never wore condoms regardless. I didn't have the sexual prowess of you, but when I did, I never wore condoms. Are you familiar with Caligula?
I've heard it before. It's like from Roman times or something like that.
Caligula was a vicious and ferocious king from, I think, the 1400s or 1200s. Yeah. He was known for his extravagance, his violence, and his sexual pervasiveness. So when I think of Caligula, I think of you.
Yeah.
Caligula just used to bang everything. I think men, women, dogs, cats. I don't think it matters. If you ever get a chance, Google Caligula, because it's an interesting read. It's a very interesting read. He was a man ahead of his time. So you're currently at home. You're outside. Your partner was very kind. I had a chance. I remember. I never told you, but I met your partner. She was very, very nice. Yeah. How she puts up with you, I'll never know. But yeah, how long have you been together with your partner, your current partner? And when did it turn to partners? How come it's not girlfriend?
So that's because I feel like girlfriend doesn't seem significant enough.
Okay, because when they said partner, I instantly thought that like it was a guy. I thought you were talking about Jow. I'd like to thank my partner. I thought like Jow was going to come up and give you a hug. So I wasn't sure. So partner, you go from girlfriend to partner, then it's fiance. Is that kind of the pattern?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Have you had previous people that you would consider a partner? I'm just learning. I'm asking for pure knowledge myself.
No, I would say I had other girlfriends.
Girlfriends.
But beyond that, the next most significant relationship was
the next phase is a partner, and it's not something that happens overnight. I mean, it's got to be like 6 months, a year before you consider someone a partner.
Yeah, I mean, we live together. We have, assets together. We have a
daughter. You have connected interests together, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even know. Do you have children together?
Yeah. Did you see my daughter?
Dude, I saw 45 kids. I'm sorry. I couldn't keep them all straight. I did see. I saw.
I only have one daughter. There's 4 boys. There's between me and her. I have 3 boys. She got 1. So there's 4 boys, and then our little girl.
I saw the wrestler. He was awesome.
Well, 3 now. There's 2.
Well, the one. Do you have one that's graduating this year, or is a junior in high school?
One is a junior this year, and one is graduated already.
That's the one. That's the one I met. Yeah, he was. God bless, your kids are all very, very kind and respectful, very, very helpful, and it's good that you had them work the event. I think that's missing from today's generation of entitlement, where everything's just handed to kids and they don't work for it. And I definitely sense that your children have a strong work ethic and moral values and a center, which is awesome.
They are
yeah,
especially the older 2. Them older 2 boys will work.
Right. And you actually co-parent very well, which is also not easy. It's a give and take. Yeah. The co-parenting aspect, it's tough getting into it, and then once you get on a roll, everyone that I've talked to have said that their relationships have gotten better with their exes after co-parenting. Yeah. and going through that. Would you agree?
For sure. Oh yeah. I would say it. I mean, Coffee. I don't know if this is weird, sounds weird or not, but she almost feels like a sister, kind of like.
Well, she was always very. I found her opinionated, but she was always easy to get along with. I always thought she was fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
But I could see her, like, when you take away the aspect of marriage is a failed institution as it is. But when you take away that part of it, I definitely think that you would connect on a different level. And having all the tension removed, like, this is resolved, we can go back to what we were.
Yeah.
And I think that makes a difference. And she's obviously a good mother.
Yeah.
Right. And there's the man himself. Ja, how are you, sir? I can just tell.
my phone was at my desk because I couldn't even respond.
Oh, that's all right. I know. I forgot you guys are at the office.
Razul called me and everything.
So it's interesting that Ja is still at work and Razul is at home. So how did that occur? How did Razul get home early and you had to go back to the office?
Unfortunately, we had an emergency at the house today. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so he had to go to the ER, and so that's how Razul started his day. So I actually haven't had a chance to get a full update. One of the men in the house, Norris, is he doing okay?
He is. He's doing all right. Okay. But I think. Well, I guess you only see this first thing, but I don't know if we're supposed to just
Yeah, I'll have to edit it out, but there's this thing called HIPAA. But
even with HIPAA, you can't mention the first name.
I don't.
I take the risk.
I don't think he'll care. I wouldn't do it. I'll edit it out. I just curious. Was it just health related? Was it?
He actually. So he failed the drug test for fentanyl.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So we went to the hospital to.
That's protocol. They send him right to the hospital.
Well, so we started to go to a bunch of different.
You got to go to a detox normally.
Detox. Well, I called a couple, and they're like, "Oh, well, you don't do it." And then we talked with a caseworker who worked for SCAD, who's one of the detox agencies, and she was like, "Oh, take them to the hospital, and they'll do the detox."
Yeah, they throw you right out usually at the hospital.
I mean, that's basically what happened. I mean, now they drug tested him, and their test showed that he was negative, and he was adamant that he did not use. But if someone fails it, we have the house drug test.
How much time spanned in between tests?
Let's see. The one that he did was like 10:45 last night, 11 o'clock last night, and then the one he did at the hospital was probably around 11, 12.
Oh, yeah. See, most hospitals, fentanyl does not come.
Oh, I think you froze, Cully. I'm still moving, and you're still moving, Josh, so I'm guessing. I think you froze for a second there, Cully.
That's all right. Yeah, most hospitals, they don't test exclusively for fentanyl. They'll do like a 7-panel drug test. Fentanyl has to be tested for exclusively. So really? that could have been why. Just on that topic, just was he forthcoming about it?
No, he was adamant that he didn't do anything.
He said he didn't use.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the protocol after? Okay, you brought him to the hospital. They tested him. They obviously discharged him.
They discharged him.
What do you guys do?
So once their drug test came back negative, we just gave him the benefit of the doubt and assumed that maybe ours was faulty.
Okay.
But
it probably wasn't, but that's okay. Do you? Well, no. I'm just saying that it. Do you do a singular test for fentanyl, or do you do the 7-panel one?
7-panel.
Okay. And is fentanyl a specific test that comes up?
Yes,
on the panel? Okay. Yeah. So it's just odd because, like, fentanyl is considered an opioid, and if you do a traditional 7-panel test, it will not show as an opioid. You have to do a specific test for fentanyl, and I didn't know that they even included fentanyl as part of the 7-panel tests. And how often are they drug tested?
It's random. There's not like a set.
It's not like once a week or twice a week or whatever. Okay.
Just like
so, it just happened to be a random test. And
well, to be frank, he missed curfew.
Oh, yeah, that's tough. Okay, so that's normal. That's normal. I recall missing curfew twice, going away for a weekend and coming back. I was late, but they drug test you anyway when you go away, and then being late for curfew. Were there, without saying names or whatever, were there any other behaviors exhibited that you would say were out of the ordinary?
I wouldn't say so, no.
But yeah, I know you don't interact with them on a daily basis, but I know Marcus would.
Even Marcus would have said, but this individual, I think, is very like very reserved, unassuming. Like I almost feel like
I can't read him.
Right, I almost feel like he's intentionally that way so that he's not readable. You know what I'm saying?
But like I know you guys offer, the groups or the book club. You go to meetings. Would Marcus say this is someone that is actively sharing in meetings, talkative to other guys in the house, or do they pretty much keep to themselves?
I would say that in the group meetings that we've been a part of, he has contributed to the group meetings. He has.
And,
I think
but you have to call him out though.
Yeah.
Every time I got him to contribute,
you have to. If you call him, he will contribute. He will talk.
But I
it's
think
limited.
With our personality, it's really hard not to. I don't see why he wouldn't. Like, it would be really awkward if he didn't respond.
There was someone that didn't, and
he did respond though. It's still awkward, but he responded. Like, we had to wake him up out of his bed.
But I mean, there's a difference between having something to hide and like social anxiety.
That's true. I didn't feel a social anxiety issue. Not with him. Okay. Not with him. Yeah. Did you get a social anxiety feel from him?
No, I think that he's just
and he knows the game.
Yeah,
he knows different
houses. He's a frequent flyer.
Of other houses, so he knows how the policies work. He knows how to kind of shift.
He speaks slowly. It takes his time before he says anything.
He thinks before he speaks, which is the opposite of anyone else. Okay. Without saying exactly, is it someone who had been in the house a longer term or a shorter term? Would you say?
Well, everyone in the house is short term.
Yeah.
Well, I know that every bed had been
just opened recently. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's right. It's been I forgot. Right.
I'd say he's probably resident number 5 or 6.
Okay, so he wasn't one of the originals.
No,
that came in. Okay. That's a tough situation.
I want to say he came in February.
Yeah.
I think he rounded out the last 8.
You opened in January, right?
So November.
Okay. I apologize. That's a very challenging situation.
But I think this is our first conflict like that.
Really. The other thing that's good is you did not remove him. Other places that I've been, one failed test, you're out. Like, there's no judge, jury. It's just you're gone.
No,
so it's good that you did that.
Detox. There is an expectation that they would still cover the cost of their bed if they want to hold it.
Yeah, of course.
But we would do detox and give them the opportunity to come back.
But
if we can prove that he's positive.
But he's still currently at the house, and there still is ambiguity behind whether he was positive.
Yeah, I think our philosophy is to help people, right?
I agree, and I think that's a great philosophy.
Your expectation is 100% perfection from start.
No, it's never going to be that. No.
Yeah, and it's like what? So he was able to share something personal in our book club. That I was very surprised that he was able to talk. I can't hear you, Razul.
Oh no, I wasn't talking to you. I'm muted.
Oh, okay. So he was able to share something personal during the book club, which I was surprised that he did.
That's a breakthrough.
It shows that the men are comfortable.
That's a big breakthrough.
And then Razul is alluding to one guy that wasn't quite open. He's one of the newest residents to the house. He's like the second newest.
Yeah, I mean that's how I was.
So
too.
I think it takes some time, and I think he came in pretty much right before the fundraiser, and he wasn't even. He was working when the fundraiser was going on, I believe, So I think it takes a little time to gain the trust. And
no, it does. It does.
I don't even think he's disrespectful. I think he's still.
No, you're guarded. You're always guarded. your story is your story, and you don't want to because usually once you enter these facilities, your life is kind of you're together. Some guys aren't doing a whole lot, and you don't always want to share your business or what's going on, so you're less frequently to talk and share your story than you would be, because I can tell you, when you go into a new environment, I was an asshole for 2 weeks. I was an asshole. I was an asshole when I was called on. I was an asshole when I wasn't called on. I just, it's when you're put in, when you're uncomfortable, it affects how you respond to these type of things. But I think the fact that you guys are both muted. Okay. I think the fact that you guys have such a great house manager, with a ton of experience in this, I think that makes a huge difference. I think that you guys making appearances and, being visible, I think that's huge. Yeah. Because, we didn't, the CEO or the CFO of the rehab I went to, the board of directors, I don't think we saw once. So I think your visibility makes a huge impact, because it's showing the legitimacy that you do care, and that you are invested in their recovery, and you do want to see them succeed, because a lot of these guys haven't had that. They haven't had someone who's invested. They haven't had someone who is pushing for their success. And they haven't had someone like you guys, believing them, standing by their side. That's huge. And I truly hope that it was an error, and that does happen. And I hope that the situation resolves itself.
And I hope you gain trust from it, right?
You're going to, because you didn't. Real hope. You are, because you didn't throw them out. You went straight with protocol to try to do a detox. The next best thing is the hospital, even though they kick you out and look at you funny. But you got the testing, you got the right testing done. And I think that he would have, I've been around people who are comfortable enough to share if they fucked up. And I think with you guys, so would you say that you're there at the house at least once a week? You are.
You're on mute, Razul.
Marcus and I have a standing weekly meeting where we kind of the past week, and what needs to get done, what needs to happen. So that Tuesdays tend to be the days that I generally address things that need to get done with the house. We'll go to opioid task force meetings, things like that.
Do you actually meet with people in the house?
No, I not individually. I've done. If I have to talk to them or address something with them, usually things pertaining to payment or deciding if any leeway there might be because it's a challenging situation.
Yeah.
I'll interject and deal with them directly. But
Jai, are you able to get there?
Yeah. So I lead the book club, and then
you do? Okay.
Yeah, and
that's huge.
And then I was there for the when we had
financial empowerment.
Yeah, the financial empowerment. So we usually take advantage of that time to just try to build a relationship with each individual in the house, and then we just, what I'm hoping for, I got a text message from one of the men, I think on Wednesday after I was there last week, Tuesday. So the goal is to where they feel comfortable. I think that's where the measure of success is.
It is.
Yeah, so if they're reaching out, just asking a question or filing a complaint, I think any news is good news, whether it's positive or negative. And then, so I'm hoping to get more of that type of engagement. And then what we're trying to do is make sure we get some type of system and scheduling in place where like weekly, because I know how it feels to kind of be in a house, 7 days a week, and
exactly.
you never see your parents. You never see it. So it'll be nice to once a week you see somebody, within leadership. I think will go a long way. So it's something that we've been trying to figure out how to implement somehow. Because we do have a list of volunteers that are experts to come in to at least try to spread that out and be able to maximize the resources.
Is it a situation where people could work up to like having a car there?
A couple of residents have cars.
They do. Okay. So they can have cars there after a certain point. And
everybody's in a different stage in their sobriety.
Absolutely.
So I think someone like you're thinking of will have to work up to it.
Right. And you guys decide whether that's allowed or not.
There's not really any limitations with it right now.
Yeah.
Okay. And as far
safety risk, obviously we wouldn't.
Sure. No, of course.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, you social workers, case management, have they been working with them to try to help with job applications, interviews, resumes, that sort of thing?
So we do have someone that has been helping with it. She's been volunteering.
Okay.
So it has been a little bit sporadic, but I'm actually engaging having a meeting with a couple of organizations to come in more on a more official capacity.
Okay.
Sweet.
Well, like I said, the one thing that I would be happy to offer, if anyone is interested in doing that, I can help them put together a resume, show them the template that's best to use. And then, the two biggest things you can do, Indeed and LinkedIn, are key for being able to get jobs. And I know you said several men in the house do have jobs, and
most of them,
yes.
Most of them do. Out of the 8 guys, would you say 5, 6 have jobs?
5.
That's a great number.
5 do, yeah. 3 that are unemployed. One of them, I didn't say who it is. They find an extra level of challenge, I think, especially because they were on. Right.
Yeah, that makes things difficult. But those are things I'd be absolutely willing to help with, and that's something that I can do remotely with them, because even the guys that have been at their jobs, it's a situation where they should always strive to move forward. They should always strive for something better.
True.
And I know that the last thing you want is to get comfortable. You don't want them to get comfortable. You want them to want more. You want them to believe that they deserve more. And you want them to understand that more is out there. And it just takes the initiative and having confidence in themselves to be able to get there.
Yeah.
So, and that's why, putting together a resume, getting it up on Indeed, creating a LinkedIn page makes all the difference in the world, because once you have that, now you search for jobs and it's one click and you've applied. One click, LinkedIn, search for jobs, click, you apply, submit your resume, you submit your cover page, you can do all that. And I think that'll be a big a big impact on them. That could make a huge difference. Are there any that have aspirations? Like, what do you think they would consider? I know it's an older group. Would they have any interest in going back to school, or taking some classes?
I think they'd be open to some type of like course or class.
Yeah.
None of them have expressed much interest in school.
Well, because I know it's an older group, so I get that. But they do have life experience. They do have job experience. And like I can tell you, when I finally learned how to interview for a job properly, it made all the difference in the world. I didn't know about questions you should ask, different things you should present. And I was able to learn that through a free course of a group that helped me. And it's huge. And that's something that I would be happy to help with, because just putting together a resume, getting your online activity up so you're on these different sites, that can help them progress. And they may not think they can progress, but just going through the process of applying for a job, interviewing for a job, even if it's out of your reach, that'll give them a lot of experience, and then they'll eventually be able to get the job that they want or desire. But
one thing we've been spending time and resources getting into is different workforce development options, especially in the trades. I think there's a big opportunity there. We've been looking into it. Why are you smirking?
He's been smirking the whole time.
He used to always give me a hard time because I'm the better looking brother and I squat 600.
No, I mean, it's different. It's tougher, but there is such a need for that, for trade schools and skilled workers like.
What do you have to say, Razul? What do you have to say?
No, I mean, I think so. We started this discussion. We started the discussion. We don't have anything in place yet.
Well, what needs to go in place? Is there a fee associated with it? Is there
really? I think maybe just like some
transportation or logistical.
It could be any of that, but actually like something where people actually start to be developed.
That you're saying that you don't know that they want to do this is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying because he was saying that we were starting it, and I was like. We started to.
We had a discussion.
I said looking into it. I didn't say anything about starting.
Conversation.
I said we were looking into it.
It is recorded. We can go back and.
We can.
No, it's fine. But no, you're looking into it. But I understand you're trying to say that there's many steps that it would take before this could come to fruition.
Especially when you start with an idea. Right, you start with an idea, and then you start to frame out the program.
Right,
you have to figure out the capital stack to make the program work, and then you have to make sure you have the right team to capitalize it. So there's a lot of steps.
There's a lot that goes into it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's what Razul is saying is when you talk about it, and it sounds like it's something.
It sounds great, but yeah, I understand implementing it's completely different. Yeah. But I do think
like there's promises. So
it's not. I mean, there's a huge
overpromise and underperforming is what he's laughing about over there.
Is it a situation
right,
where like
right?
Is it a situation where like if people in the house were interested, would it be a challenge getting them to and from these?
Transportation is a challenge for some of the guys.
Yeah.
Some of the guys that are at the house that have cars have been very kind of generous in helping. In areas when they can. But transportation can be an issue or challenge. So most of the time
do you think there's people that are interested in this that would want to do this?
Yeah, but that like it's very if we had workforce development options, I think it would depend on what the options are because some of the guys are limited in, like their physical capacity. Um, some of them being older have very limited like technological.
Right. But I'm thinking like trade school stuff, like being a plumber, electrician, things like that, HVAC.
Yeah, so
You're thinking of
I
you're thinking
I
different.
I love that, and I think that I want us to develop some type of trade schools because there's a huge need for it.
That's what I was saying. So
And,
Ja was talking about something different.
No, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
But what Razul is cautious on is basically being able to overpromise, and it's not something that's
Is there a cost involved if they want to do this? Is it like if they want to go to?
I mean, that's the thing, Cully. So right now, we reach out to partners. We connect with partners.
Right. So you would try to form a partnership with a group that offers this service. So it wasn't something that they would have to pay out of pocket for, or you would have to pay out of pocket for.
Right. And we connected with a number of agencies, but for the most part, the guys that have still had challenges, we haven't found anything for them yet. And I think some of the stuff, for example, the couple guys that we're thinking about being in their 50s and 60s,
yes,
and physical requirements associated with the trade, it might not be the ideal option.
No, not for their 50s and 60s. That's difficult. What about Bellamy with his company with the staff works and the different things that he does? Does he have any opportunities with his company for that?
That's actually a good question. I hadn't actually thought of it because I was under the perception that that they did more like stuff where you needed like a technological aptitude.
There is, yes, there is.
And the individuals who might be most suited to it are already employed.
Okay.
So the individuals, the older guys, a lot of times we're helping them just to make their payments on the phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. That would probably be a reach. But Ja, I think that's an excellent idea. If there's, especially younger guys in the house that it could work for, if you're able to develop a partnership with one of the groups, the more you can offer, the better. And I think you're already offering a tremendous amount. So that's the direction you want to keep moving in. And like I said, I'd be more than willing to help them with creating a updated resume, to get them online, to register them to Indeed, to get them a LinkedIn profile. Do guys have laptops in the house? I mean, are there computers in the house?
I have not, aside from Marcus, I haven't seen one. But
okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if one or two other guys did. I know most of the guys don't. I know
they do not. Okay.
Ja,
not really computers in the house. Well, they have phones too. You can do it from your phone.
You can do a lot with the phones. But that's something we could definitely discuss on one of our board meetings, because I'm sure there's some resources that we can tap into. We consistently ask the men what they need. And then one of the questions I always ask whenever I have their attention is, what's something small we can do to improve? And it kind of falls in line with our overall mission of change. If you keep trying to do the same thing over and over again and expect results. So, that's like a specific question we really do. That hasn't come up once, the request for more technology, but it could be an opportunity just to kind of open up their appetite for access to information, so we that's an opportunity for us to look into to see if that's something that.
Well, I would tell you that the next time you address the group, if there's anyone who has interest in putting together a resume and getting on Indeed and LinkedIn, I would be more than happy to help them do that. I have a template for a resume that I can create it or show them how to create it, and then registering for LinkedIn and creating an Indeed page. That way they can apply for jobs at a click of a button. And then I just said, even if the job is out of your range, going through the process of interviewing is a great experience to learn. And that will get them to start to have more confidence and believe in what they're doing. And obviously, I think they can do better. I think that's the biggest thing. Continuing to have them do better and improve and eventually get them on their way. And at the 1 year mark, I think that's when you can really present the issue more, because ideally you want them to be self-sufficient. You want them to live independent lives, and showing that that they're capable of it, I think will make all the difference in the world. So please mention that I would be happy to help anyone who's interested in doing that.
I will text Marcus right now that's a resource.
I really would. It's just I know when I had to do it, it just seemed overwhelming, and I had friends that helped me with the resume, and then the LinkedIn and Indeed. And then once you see how easy, you can just be on your phone and you just click and you're applying for jobs. You can apply for 50, 60 jobs a day. It's wild how it works. But otherwise, everything going well. You guys have been doing all right with. I know the other real estate that you've been involved with. Has there been any interest, any properties that piqued your interest? Anything that you're looking at?
We're just working on a couple of projects this year. I think one of my main goals this year is to just build something I never built from the ground up before.
Oh, you want to build?
Yeah.
Oh, that's huge. Okay.
So,
do you have a lot in particular? Any lots that you're looking at purchasing?
So we actually put in a couple proposals with the Hartford Land Bank for a couple of their plots to build multifamily housing in Hartford, and
beautiful.
And then we're still working with Norwich and CDC to work on a little bit larger affordable housing project here in Norwich.
Good. And like I said, you should reach out to Laban and find out about that property, because I swear to God, I think it would be a home run for you as far as bringing in revenue consistently. You're going to get consistent revenue, and it's a lot of revenue from the different tournaments and projects. I was telling Razul about a facility. It's in Pennsylvania that one of our alumni was looking into. They have hockey rinks and a turf field, several turf fields, and it's going up for sale. And I mean, it's a gold mine as far as a moneymaker, because of the number of tournaments and activities that go on in these turf fields, because it's a colder environment. So the price isn't listed or anything yet. I just thought with you guys, with everything you're doing, it would be worth a phone call to see if it's worth anything looking into.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That seems like a really strong business model.
Well, it brings in residual income. That's the only reason I thought of it, because the money that it brings in weekly, monthly, from different leagues, different tournaments, different events, it's just something that would help you generate consistent revenue on a weekly basis. That's why I thought of you. So,
thank you.
But
coffee, Razul?
Gotta connect. Man, I stayed up late last night, got up early this morning, so I'm just tired.
Any other news about the November event? I know that's going to be a big one.
Just that it's November 15th. We started to we had a kickoff meeting with volunteers to start to plan and prepare. And Zilla Fluker is our ambassador. So
Yep, ambassador.
Using her experience to help us to organize and prepare for it. So I'm excited about it.
Okay. I had a suggestion for you. I do a podcast for the local Humane Society, and they are doing a raffle. Now, you have to get certified to be eligible to do a raffle, but the first one they did was a huge moneymaker. There's only 3,500 tickets, and they give away $100,000.
Oh, wow.
They make $250,000 off of it. They sell each ticket for $100 each. They're sold at different locations. And the raffle, like right now, we're just starting to sell the tickets. I've been helping her sell tickets. And the drawing isn't until November. So that's why I was thinking if you looked into being certified or licensed by the Raffle Commission, very easy way for you to make money. You sell the tickets, you do a raffle drawing, and you get $200K. And they've done this for years. I literally went over it with her. Like it's crazy.
That is crazy.
It doesn't even sound real.
I know.
Yeah. We gotta connect to them, Cully. Well, it's the Humane Society here. They give away 3 prizes, but they clear over $200,000 from the event. Each ticket is worth $100, and there's only 3,500 tickets that are sold. So, just thinking, if you sold, you got enough people, volunteers or whatever, selling 10 tickets each at $100, you have to believe that's possible. Yeah, and then you do your drawing at your event in November. So that's what I was thinking about for trying to help you generate revenue.
Can you make that connection for us?
Well, I just told you how to do it. What connection do you need?
I thought there's like a specific person that you're working with on that.
Oh, yeah, I'm working with the Humane Society on, but it's just being certified by the Raffle Commission. But yeah, I can make a connection.
I got Razul just rolling over there today.
Yeah, I'll find out how she got approval from the state commission, because you have to be approved to do raffles from the state commission. Okay. And tickets have to be paid for in cash. That's the only other thing. But it's worked out for them for the last several years, so I thought it could work for you, especially doing it at your fundraising event. So think it over. I just have to mention Ned Von Young and the Fresh Fold Laundry Company, just outside of Chapel Hill, North Carolina. High-end laundry service. You drop your laundry off. It's washed, dried, folded for you at Land Speed Records. You pick it up afterwards. They have an online subscription model, weekly or bi-weekly you can sign up for. They also have deals for college students in the area. Check out their website, freshfold-laundry.com. It's our brother, Ned Von Young, fresh himself. He named the laundromat after himself, which I love. For Razul, who laughed and slept and yawned his way through, and Ja, thank you for joining us, giving us updates on how the house is doing. And I wish you all the best, and we will talk again soon. Remember, I'm Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe. When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges and shove them up Razul's ass.